California insurer will no longer offer coverage to some people. According to the Chronicle, Liberty Mutual plans to not issue new policies to renters and those living in condominiums starting next year. Existing customers will not have their policies renewed starting in 2026. Liberty Mutual says it is not financially viable to operate in California anymore with these types of policies. The company insures a combined 167,000 renters or condo owners in California. Now, what could be a game changer for California homeowners, a new rule is shaking up the state's insurance market, allowing insurers to use advanced catastrophe models to better assess wildfire risk. Welcoming Carmen Balber, the Executive Director of Consumer Watchdog, to the 9. Thanks for being with us, Carmen.
Good morning.
So up until now, the state required insurers to use historic wildfire losses to determine a catastrophic factor for rates, which led to premiums spiking after disasters. We saw it up in the North Bay after fires there and elsewhere. How does this change force them to instead look ahead?
What the insurance commissioner has proposed and enacted in regulation in California would allow insurance companies to use black box catastrophe models to project climate risk into the future. The problem with that is they are going to determine how much risk your home is of burning down with information that they don't disclose to regulators or the public. So we're talking basically secret algorithms developed by Wall Street and Silicon Valley firms that no one will be able to explain to consumers or to regulators. That's a problem. We won't know the reasons our rates are going up, but what is guaranteed is that this regulation will jack up rates even further for California homeowners.
So let's talk about specifically how they're doing it, looking forward instead of looking back. Do you support that part of the change?
Yes, we think that the way to do this right is to require a public catastrophe model developed by state experts, academics with the UCs or the CSUs, who can crunch the numbers, do the science, and then open up the math to the public so we can be confident that insurance companies are using information that's fair and accurate in predicting future climate risk. One of the things that is an absolute truth about private climate models is they have wildly different projections. So one home in the Oakland Hills might be priced at $100 a month by one insurer and $1,000 a month by another. The catastrophe models are so different. We need to be able to look inside the box and make sure that what they're projecting is fair.
So what could force that sort of transparency?
We think we need legislation to fund the creation of a public catastrophe model in California. The other real complication here is that California's law is based on transparency in insurance rating. The reason California voters passed a law back in 1988 that said insurance rates had to be transparent was the only way we could make insurance companies accountable. The insurance commissioner is letting insurance companies off the hook for those transparency requirements by approving this private catastrophe model regulation. We need the legislature to step in and say, no, climate data needs to be public. Consumers should have access to information about how their own fire risk and what they can do about it. And that information needs to impact their insurance rates, not private information that no one has access to.
So aside from that transparency you're asking for, the state insurance commissioner did say that this is the first time in history California is requiring insurance companies to expand where people need it most. What's your reaction to that?
That would be great if it were true. Unfortunately, the commissioner is not being honest with Californians. The regulation he wrote does not hold insurance companies to that expanded coverage commitment. Specifically, the commissioner has said insurance companies will have to rate 85% in fire areas of what they do in the rest of the state. But the regulation doesn't say that. It gives insurance companies another option, which is just a 5% increase. A third option, which is an alternative commitment made up by the insurance companies. And then finally, it does not take effect for 2 years. And if 2027 rolls around, an insurance company comes to the commissioner and says, sorry, we made a good faith effort, but we couldn't make it, he can simply move the goalposts. And so that's a real missed opportunity for California consumers who are not going to be guaranteed more coverage under this plan, but are definitely seeing higher rates.
I know a lot of people just, kind of freeze every time they see a letter from their insurance carrier show up in their mail. Even if it's just a, little happy birthday card, right? It's, you sort of freeze up. All right, Carmen Balber, we'll have to leave it here. Joining us from Consumer Watchdog. Thanks for being with us.